Right. One thing that I was would be interesting that I was hoping you might be able to do a video on is managing a burn.
Yes.
Because that's something that there's a lot of misinformation out there on.
Absolutely. Like putting burn creams on and stuff, and,
Yeah.
and the burn people, as you know,
Dry.
don't like that. Keep it dry because they have to debride that and take
Right.
it off, and then it's more pain and discomfort. So, yeah, you're probably like I am. I get tons of, so that's a great suggestion. You're like I am. You probably get tons of messages asking, could you do a video on this? Could you do a video on that?
Right.
And I think we were both saying we could retire and just make videos and no way to support our families. But
Yeah, we could put up a PayPal link.
right, donate.
You know, one of the things that we were talking about that we're trying to figure out how to manage is when you start having a lot of people watching your videos and subscribing, and with that comes a lot of comments. And I've just really been amazed of some of the time that's been spent on comments that have been sent to me. I'm talking literally paragraphs and paragraphs where I can see that it's a very heartfelt,
Well thought out.
well thought out. Probably spend an hour or two putting this and sending this over. And when I cannot answer all the messages, and I try to, but when I get something like that, I feel like whoever took enough time to do that deserves the respect.
You feel compelled to respond.
Of an appropriate response. And we were just talking about that. You know, you said you had a special file. You put those.
I put them in a folder, and they accumulate, and then you just feel I've got to sit down and answer those.
Right, and I do the same thing. I have a place where I put them because I think, you know what, I can't just fire off a one or two sentence reply on this. I want to actually sit down and have the time to think on it and respond appropriately. And you keep doing this, and then pretty soon you have 30 or 40 of those in there.
It takes time.
And you still haven't got to them, and I don't
But some
know.
things can be answered in a video, or maybe if you get like repeat ones, that drives the thought process to make a video, and
Right.
you're answering that for
Right.
some people.
Right. I just don't really. That's one way to do it. I just don't really know how to manage that, and the longer it sits in the box, the harder it
Right.
is to.
It's like you got to sit down and actually do it and pull it out and get it done.
Right. So if we haven't got back to you on those on that type of a message, I do apologize.
They're in the list to do.
They're on
On the list to do.
They're on the list
Right.
to do. It's
And I have to say, I think from talking with Cody, I think he feels the same as I do, and that is that those comments and private messages are a valuable part of participating in this community.
right.
Probably the real reward is that interaction that you wouldn't have otherwise.
It is. I think you're right. Doing the videos is fun, but the reward of the whole thing is the interaction afterwards.
Right.
And I'm just amazed on how many things that I've learned. When you think you know everything, and you
Then
kind
you
of
start talking with someone and say, oh, I didn't even think about that aspect, or
do you find that when you look back on some of your older videos that they're 3 months old and they almost need to be
they're out of
redone?
date,
Yeah.
got to do it again. Right.
Yeah, I find that constantly. And you watch someone else that has done something, and you think, oh, how come I didn't think of that? You know, and I've got this out there, but it's like Nothing Fancy says, it's a snapshot in time.
It is a snapshot in time. And I think you have to recognize it's a snapshot in time, and through these interactions, you're going to be learning and adjusting, and your thought process on a particular thing is going to change
Right.
2 or 3 months later from those interactions.
Just take your thought process, what it was on your defensive handgun.
Right.
A year ago, 2 years ago, compared to now. I mean, you want to talk about something that's dynamic.
You're light years away from where you were.
Yeah,
back then.
technology changes so quickly, and things change, and it's hard to keep up.
Right. Absolutely. And I have to say, this is a real benefit for me because I've been a big fan of Cody's channel, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be watching this are fans of his channel, and I am so glad to see him back after his hiatus and seeing those videos that I enjoyed so much back up and available for people to learn from. and benefit. And I would have never thought I'd be sitting here right next to this
smoking stove.
Smoking stove that I could, because I like a lot of aspects of your channel. I like the off-grid section. I like the shooting section. I like how you bring your faith and family to bear. I think that's critically important. And I like how you sit down and do what I call your fireside chats and share. And it's kind of odd to be sitting here now after watching that on a computer and sitting here in real life.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how much technology has changed, how things change, but the simple pleasures of life and the fundamentals, like you said, are the same. It's
right.
about water and food and heat and a roof over your head or a shelter or something.
Right.
And
all this other stuff is extra.
It is. All this other stuff is extra. And when it's cold outside and raining and people come in, the first thing they want to do is sit by the stove.
Right by this, because it's heat and it's comforting.
It's comforting.
Right, and friendship.
And
There's good fellowship here, so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you. I have taken up, I don't know, what would you say, Cody? Probably a good 3 hours of his time in the shop, and he's been very generous. And
you can work it off.
I appreciate the friendship. So, and I'm looking forward to coming back and visiting with Cody, because he's a great guy, and he's exactly what you see on YouTube.
You can ask my wife.
Real down, and his wife would, yeah, she'd say the same thing.
Well, one thing that we'll do is we talked about is we're going to go up to the property.
Yes.
And whatever.
I feel spoiled. I'm going to get to go up and.
Whenever you want to go,
yeah.
and we'll film that, and we can get into maybe some more of the nuts and bolts of what we should be maybe look at for property and everything that goes with that. I'm going to set up as soon as it stops raining. One side note, I'm going to set up a kind of I guess what we would call like an elk hunter camp up there.
Oh, nice.
With the big tent and the wood stove and all that. This is something
which is like a base camp.
Like a base camp, right? A lot of people think that they're going to get a 6-person or a 7-person Kelty lightweight backpack tent, and that's why they're going to spend a winter in the woods.
You're talking about like a wall tent, one of those.
I'm talking about a wall tent.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people who don't have the ability to go and build a cabin or something on the piece of property, you'll see how I'm going to put this together, and this is something that you could do relatively inexpensively. You can get military surplus, but there are guys who lived, my family for example, as we were saying earlier, when they moved from Oklahoma, or my grandfather, they lived for 3 years in Sun Valley in these tents with the wood stoves.
Yes.
And the whole family, kids and everything. And so this will be, if you can acquire some property or you know someone who will let you use it, if you need to get out, need to access it, with one of these tents and with the wood stove.
So that could be sort of an escape.
Right. Yeah, this whole thing could be put together, everything you need in your pickup truck, in boxes. You could load it up, you could have it set up.
And they even have small stoves that fit those wall tents.
Yeah, I have one about maybe 12 inch by 24.
Real efficient little long ones, yeah.
Yeah, and I've spent many nights in those tents. We've lived in them for 2 and 3 weeks at a time.
Comfortable.
Yeah, below zero, and very comfortable.
Yeah.
So
that would be great.
option.
That would be great to see. I'm looking forward to seeing your property.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
We'll go as soon as you're ready.
All right. I got to let him get back to his family. So thank you for letting us come to the Wrangler barn.
It's good to meet you.
All right. Thanks, Cody. All right, guys. Well, I'm on my way home. Had a great visit with Cody at the Wrangler barn. My battery is almost dead. So got some good video to share with everybody, and I appreciate everybody tagging along with me. Thanks, guys.